it's Melanie. Happy Sunday. Yes, you are seeing a lot of home fragrance reviews from me today. I typically keep any home fragrance related content on my channel on the weekends so that it doesn't interfere with beauty stuff. But I am wanting to get these Bath & Body Works candle reviews specifically for the fall out as soon as possible to be able to obviously give you guys my thoughts and to let you know whether they are worth purchasing or not, because quite a number of the reviews that I have put out so far are specifically on the online exclusive candles, which is obviously a little bit of a bummer that there are certain candles that you can only get when you order them online. It's not so much that the shipping is terribly expensive, it's that there is a little bit more of a hassle associated with ordering online with Bath & Body Works because they just don't package their stuff very well. In fact, the order that I got all of these fall candles in, there were several candles that were smashed. Bath & Body Works was nice enough to replace them, obviously, but it's just kind of a hassle to deal with that and then to have to wait for the candles to be sent. In fact, all but one of my pumpkin pie candles, this was the one that was not smashed, all of the other pumpkin pie candles were all completely smashed in that first go around. So I had to wait for them to send the replacements and it was fine. But, you know, I do have a little bit of faith that they will potentially eventually release these in stores. So maybe if you wait a couple of weeks, they will end up shipping them to the stores anyway. I don't know that for sure, but I was afraid that I was not going to get my hands on the pumpkin pie and that for some reason it was going to sell out early, and I knew I wanted this one. I am one of those basic pumpkin pie spice girls in the fall. I love pumpkin anything. Fall is by far probably my favorite season, not only to decorate with, but just the home fragrance I think is the best in the fall from everyone who, you know, specifically releases fall fragrances. Homeworks, Bath & Body Works, Swan Creek, like there's just a lot, Root Candles, there's a lot of great companies that put out some amazing scents for the fall. And it's always been my favorite. So anyway, pumpkin pie is my favorite pie to eat. It's my favorite thing to smell. And so I knew I wanted this candle. And you guys, I love this one. I will 100% be getting backups of this. It's so delicious smelling. To me, it smells pretty darn authentic. Now, I do have to admit that this is only my second burn of this candle. However, and I'm gonna reach over and bring this into frame because I have actually been using this throughout my house the last couple weeks in my warmers because the ones that arrived broken, I chopped up and put into this bag, and you can see I don't really have that many chunks left. Now, I'm just gonna put the disclaimer out there. There was a lot of shattered glass involved with my order, and it's very dangerous to do this. I was wearing some heavy duty like leather gloves, and I was mostly just using a couple of knives to like pry the broken glass off of the wax. And I cut myself once before doing this, so that's why I have the leather gloves now, because I learned my lesson. But you can definitely, if you are so inclined, you can salvage the wax and melt it. I've actually been melting it in my Scentsy warmers and it works great in there. Honestly, the smell of when I'm warming it in my warmers and when I'm burning the candle is exactly the same. So there's no difference in the strength or the throw or anything like that. It is exactly the same when I'm melting it as when I'm burning it. So that's great. I kind of feel like, you know, I got some wax melts out of it for the hassle, I guess. but really do be careful if you're gonna do that. Bath and Body Works will actually tell you to just throw the candles away and to not do anything with them. I think they have to do that as their disclaimer. And again, I'm gonna give you the same disclaimer. Don't do it, especially if you are prone to hurting yourself. Just, it's not worth it for that. But, you know, just, you'll get the new candles from Bath and Body Works. But since I'm stubborn and I had some time on my hand and some leather gloves, I went for it. So anyway, by the way, that is not the best way to store your cut up wax. I believe that the plastic that they use in these Ziploc bags leaches some of the scent out of the wax. The only reason that it's in there is because A, I knew I was gonna be using it up within a couple weeks, so it was gonna be fine, but B, I didn't have a glass jar big enough because, like I said, several of my pumpkin pie candles were smashed when they arrived. So for me, this works okay, but I also know that I'm using this up very quickly, so a glass jar is really your best way to store these chunks. Okay, let's get back to the scent. I'm gonna give you guys the description online, and then I'm gonna give you my description, and then we're gonna talk about the performance. You guys know about the performance of them melting now, but let's talk about the burn as well, at least as of like 2 burns in. I'm pretty confident in the burn because everything has actually been super consistent so far. It's actually kind of hard for me to believe that Bath and Body Works is showing some consistency. You guys know I've been blasting them for the last couple years, so I'm actually impressed. But okay, so creamy pumpkin, vanilla creme, fresh ground nutmeg, and a graham cracker crust. I smell exactly all of those things. The creamy pumpkin smells like the Libby's pumpkin pie filling that already has like the pumpkin pie spices in it. Like not just the pumpkin puree one, but if you buy the Libby's canned pumpkin pie filling, it smells exactly like that filling. So you're getting that really nice nutmeg, very creamy, that like warm vanilla extract, but like an authentic vanilla extract, not like the McCormick's like artificial garbage stuff, like pure vanilla extract. A hint of cinnamon for sure. There is a tiny bit of like a gourmand cinnamon in here. Not a spicy cinnamon. It's more of like that Ceylon cinnamon that is a little bit softer smelling and softer tasting, if you will. Not like a Mike and Ike's. You know how they have those Mike and Ike's that are like the red hot cinnamon? Yeah, those are terrible. It's not like that at all. It's a very nice gourmand cinnamon. And that graham cracker crust, really, to me, I think smells a little bit more like a traditional pie crust, but I could also see where you could also get graham cracker from it. It's kind of like straddling the lines between the two. At any rate, it's a delicious crust note. It is really, really good, you guys. I just can't say enough about this. It is the ultimate fall bakery scent, really. I think this is probably hands down going to be one of my favorites for the fall. I will do, as we get a little bit closer to fall and I start like testing out more from, I'm sure Bath and Body Works is gonna be releasing more candles, and then obviously Homeworks is gonna start coming out with some stuff, and I'm actually thinking about placing an order with Swan Creek as well once they start releasing their fall scents, because those are also totally amazing. So I will do a fall favorites for sure as we head into September. But this is 100% going to be at the top of that list. It's so good, you guys. I really, really like this one a lot. I'm very excited to actually burn the warm apple pie because I've also heard really incredible things about that one. So this next week, I'm going to focus on burning that and then bring you guys that review. And I will also compare the warm apple pie to the apple crumble, of which I still have several in my backup stash. And I'm pretty thankful for that because that's another incredible Bath and Body Works like fall, apple seasonal scent for sure as well. So anyway, this hands down, you guys, I love it. The description I feel is very accurate. If you like pumpkin pie and you like the way that warm pumpkin pie smells when it comes out of the oven, that is what you're getting here. I would say it's pretty authentic. But I don't know that anyone would walk in and think, oh, it's an actual pumpkin pie. I think that they would probably know, just because of the strength of it, that you are very much burning like an autumnal pumpkin pie candle scent. But it's really delicious. So let's talk about the performance. The wicks on this, I'm just gonna lift you guys up here so that you can see them. You can see there are mushroom tops. And again, this is a second burn of this one. The first time I only had it lit for about 2 hours. I have been leaving my Bath and Body Works candles lit. Oops, sorry about that. I have been leaving them lit for anywhere from 2.5 to a max of 4 hours. Any longer than that, and I just fear like the sooting issue, they just really are getting pretty warm by that point. I guess I should say hot. And that's where you can run into trouble with the wicks starting to soot a little bit, and I am not into that. I don't want to relegate these to my candle crocks. I want to enjoy the ambiance of the flame. So I'm trying to do what I can to make sure that I can burn these without having to like stick them in a candle crock and just melting them, because I'm really liking what I'm getting from this when it's burning. So yeah, the wicks are not super thick. I will say the wicks on this particular one were a little bit off center. Not a huge deal, but obviously not ideal. They were a little bit off center. They are not crazy thick, but they're not the super thin wicks. They definitely don't lean over or anything like that. I do trim them, but not too short. And the strength is a solid, I would put the strength at pretty close to an 8 when I'm burning it, and it's about a 7 when I'm melting it. So there is a slight step down, but not much, burning versus melting. And the throw, dude, it's a solid thrower. I can smell this throughout the entire downstairs of the house. It travels upstairs. So for that reason, I'm gonna give it like 8.5, 9. I mean, it throws in my house, but I do have good airflow here. We currently obviously have the air conditioning on because it's the middle of summer, and here I am reviewing fall candles, but the air conditioning, it really does help to carry the scent around the house pretty efficiently. And I'm sure if we had the heat on in the cooler months like October, November, it would equally carry the scent around the house really well. So it is definitely strong enough to be carried on that little air current that we have happening, and it travels throughout the entire downstairs and pretty much the entire upstairs. I can smell this upstairs in the master bath. I can smell it upstairs in my normal filming room. It travels. So nothing bad to say about this candle. Nothing at all. The only thing is that right now I obviously only have access to it online. So if I want more, which I'm happy to do, I'll place another order, because I don't have any problem getting a hold of Bath and Body Works and being like, dude, why can you not completely tape my box shut? Like, it's little things like that that just kind of blows my mind, because I feel like they can't be making that much of a profit off these candles if they're constantly having to reship them because they have these flimsy cardboard boxes. Like, just invest in some better packing. Like, it really wouldn't be that difficult. Like, that's the part that kills me. Like, it wouldn't be hard. What the little crates that they send the candles to the stores in, like, that seems to do really well. Like, just do, like, if someone's ordering 6, just send them a box of one of those crates that have like the 6 in there. Those seem a lot more secure. For me, I ordered enough candles to fill up a decently large box, but it wasn't completely filled up. So there was still room, and there was only a couple of those little air packs in there. So there was a lot of room for the candles to bounce up and down. Most of the lids were off. A good chunk of the candles were broken. So yeah, I mean, major complaint there. It's just inconvenient. And then you have to get on the phone with customer service, which again, they're helpful, but I'm sure, you know, they're never surprised when people call. Like the lady was like, oh, you have broken candles? Okay. And just like took me through and, you know, was like, okay, tell me which ones and let me see if we have them in stock and I'll send them out to you tomorrow. So whatever. I mean, it's not my company, so I'm sure the limited or L brands, I guess they're called. I'm sure they have plenty of money and they're fine, but I'm sure it's a hassle for them somehow. But anyway, that's it, you guys. I hope that this review was helpful. Get your hands on this. If you are at all questioning whether it's worth ordering online or not, it's worth it for this one, as well as the Snickerdoodle, which I also loved. I just think they have a pretty delicious lineup this year, and so far I'm getting really good performance, so nothing to complain about here. Let me know if you have picked up pumpkin pie. What are your thoughts? Do you get that authentic crust note like I do? Let me know if you have any questions. I will link this down below, and if you're going to ask about this holder here, that is from Homeworks. I think it's still available. I'll link it down below. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and look for more of the candle reviews coming next weekend. All right, take care, guys. Bye-bye.